Hello and welcome. We are Matt and Betsy, and we've started a bit of a journey. We have decided that we are picking up our lives. We live in Ontario, Canada right now, London, Ontario. And our plan, if everything goes to plan, is to move out east to the island of Prince Edward Island and relocate and restart our lives there along with our kids and our dogs. And our dogs as well. I'm a teacher, so that actually is good. I can relocate from one to the other. Actually, part of the process, I just recently got certified. I have my teaching certificate for Prince Edward Island, so I'm now certified in 2 provinces. That's exciting. And what do you do?
I'm in a bit of a career transition, so to speak. So for the last 12 years, I've been full-time at home, transitioning between having my own babies. I ran a home daycare for a couple of years. Then we moved into full-time foster care providers, and we've been doing that for 6 years. And we are on children number 14 and 15 currently in our home. And so we will be transitioning out of that, and I am going to hopefully, perhaps, spend more time focusing on one of my passions, which is textile arts. So I will be.
Yeah, I say it a lot more succinctly. She's a textile artist. That's what she is. She does all of the other things. She's very talented, but she's a textile artist.
I'm still practicing at saying I am a textile
This is one of her current projects that she's working on.
Mainly crochet and knitting, but I dabble in embroidery and quilting, and I come from a long history with the women in my family are textile artists as well. We just have never really claimed it as such. So I'm trying to practice saying it. We're textile artists.
Textile artists.
That's what I'm moving forward in.
Yeah. So the big question, I think that, like everyone who knows us, our friends, family, and probably you're thinking is why? Why uproot your life, go there? So we have a bunch of reasons.
Okay. Probably first and foremost, we are adventurers in spirit and have been all of our married life.
Yeah. How many places have we lived?
I think 8 or 9. I'd have to.
Yeah. Now most of them are small moves, several places within the city of London.
But oddly enough, we have been east and back. So when Matthew first graduated university, we headed east. We did have family out there at the time that were able to welcome us, and we joined. And we spent, I think it was about 18 months total out there, and then we ended up back here in Ontario, and that's when we started our own family and having babies, and so it was great to be here for that. So I'm not going to number the reasons. I can't. They change in priority as the weeks and days go by. One of the ideas is adventure. We just like adventure. The other for me is our girls have really only experienced city life, and I come from quite a rural small town background, and I think there's just elements of that lifestyle that our girls have missed or have not been able to experience. So we want to take them to have that experience. So to get them out of the city as much as we have loved the last, 18 years we've been here, I think. We'll say roughly. 18 with our time out east, minus out of that. Yeah. But our girls have only known urban life or suburban life. So we would like to take them out into the country. Those are, I think, my 2 sort of main reasons.
I think the first thing that I say to people is we spent time out east and we loved it. We loved where we were. I remember fondly walking through all sorts of beautiful countryside, the people there. There's a million things you could talk about, but we've always dreamt of going back in one way, shape, or form.
And I think a lot of what brought us back in the first place, too, was, first of all, career. Brought us back.
Back to Ontario.
Yeah. It was always my dream to be able to stay home with our kiddos full time. And so Ontario provided the employment Matthew needed to make that possible. To start with that, and then I was able to help out and supplement and with that, with my daycare and my other little bits and pieces I've been doing.
So now we find ourselves more at a place where Our kids are at an age that we can move and they can understand it. It's a little easier. We're not getting up with them in the middle of the night, or their needs. They're a little more self-sufficient than they were. So we're hoping that this is the right time to make this kind of adventure and change.
But I have to acknowledge, I mean, as parents, we never feel 100% confident. So there's a little bit of risk to it, but we're praying and hoping and trusting that the benefits and the adventures and what they might learn and be newly exposed to add to their arsenal of experience will outweigh in the end the challenges of new friends, new location, new place. Distance from family will definitely be one of the tougher things to do. So we know that, and we acknowledge that there will be times that will be hard.
So I thought we'd give a little bit of structure to this whole videoing thing. Okay. So I think we're going to have two main questions. Hopefully, if this goes well, we'll keep doing this. I have to convince her to keep doing this. She's nervous about it. So the first one is highs and lows. What so far for you has been like the biggest high and the biggest low?
Well, the biggest high was definitely selling our home. At first, it was a lot of work. So again, because we currently have 4 children living in the house and all very active, and 2 dogs, that's a lot to keep clean when you have people coming in and out. And my home is my sanctuary. It is where I spend most of my time. It is my safe place. It is the place that I try to provide for my children as their safe place and their landing place. So to know that strangers are coming into my home while I'm not here hosting I say is because we've done it in the past, but was challenging. But the high from that is it lasted 5 days.
Yeah, I mean, we did a lot of work up to that, like a month of it up to it.
Yeah, but the actual strangers in my home.
It went on the market on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
No, on a Thursday.
I don't remember.
Whatever. It was Wednesday or Thursday. I can't remember when our agent said that, and then we had it sold by Tuesday night. So 5 or 6 days.
Yes. So the kids thought it was pretty awesome because it was we called it takeout drive-in. So we got takeout dinners, but because of where the world is at right now, we were able to just eat it in our car. So they thought that was great fun.
Yeah, we're
not normally.
We don't let them eat. If you know our kids, they can be a little disastrous in the way they do things.
So eating in the car was exciting.
Yeah, like food everywhere. That's what our fear is. Although they did that really well.
Yeah. So food in the car was exciting, and then just takeout was exciting as well.
Yeah, it was weird because of the whole coronavirus, COVID-19 going on. The restrictions in Ontario at the time were you couldn't eat in restaurants. You could go and get food, and you couldn't be anywhere else either.
You were supposed to take it home.
And we couldn't be in our home, and we couldn't go to friends' homes.
No.
So what do we sit in our car and eat, and the windows are getting all steamy because you got hot food in there and people eating and talking. And it was an experience.
So, but then it sold, and I'm delighted for the people that have purchased it. I think our home will serve their purposes really well. And of course, it was a good time to sell. It is what they call a seller's market.
Yeah, if you know anything about Ontario, Southern Ontario right now, you do not want to be a buyer unless you absolutely have to right now.
In our opinion.
It's insane right now. We had 28 groups of people through our home over a weekend.
Yeah.
We got 6 offers that we were very blessed with by the end of it, and so it's great for us making the move, but there's no way we would want to be buying here right now. Yeah.
That would be, if it comes to that will be a challenge. But we're not going to worry about that right now.
Yeah. No, and I do want to mention, I'm going to mention her here, and I'll put a link down below to her website. Mm-hmm. Our real estate agent,
Love her.
Myra Hueniken. If you are at all in the London, Ontario area and need to buy or sell a home, we've done both with her. Mm-hmm. She is amazing.
Delightful.
Highly recommend her services. Yeah. She is wonderful. I think a lot of what made it a high for us was how she helped us in doing that.
She's great. And then the low so far, it's hard for me to talk about like challenges. So Matthew's stretching me doing this. Would be, so it's an awkward time to be making a lifestyle change based on the fact that we've already had limited access to close friends and family over the last year. And so I think more so for our girls, trying to provide adequate and healthy closure to our life, our current life here, is a challenge. Because we want to stay open to the option that relationships will continue, but also trying to be a little bit frank and real with them that life evolves and relationships change, and especially when you're not present, those relationships can change as well. And I know for a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old, their friendships are very important to them at this time in life, but maintaining those going forward will be a challenge.
Yeah, so for me, when I was a kid, I think it was when I was 8, we moved we moved about an hour and a half away to a totally new city, far enough that it was new friends, new school and everything. And for me, at that age, I remember that was devastating. Like, for years afterwards, if you would talk to my mother, probably right into my teenage years, like late teenage years, I was telling my family I was going back to my hometown when I grew up. Like, that was where home was, and I never wanted it to be that place. So I fear that a little bit for our kids too, as well.
We should note, though, for the most part, they are adventurous kids, and they are on board with us at the moment. Our oldest is a little bit more of a thinker, a little bit more like her dad. So she, I think, has just thought through the process more and has come through it a little bit more slowly, but is still excited to go. And our youngest just tends to live life in the moment. So a lot depends on what is going on today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and I do also wanted to say a little bit about another thing that makes it tricky with the relationship part. So one of my dearest and closest people has been away out of Canada for the last several months and will be right up until the time that our closing happens. So without a lot of specific clear plans around what exactly we're going to do around that time, she will only be coming back as we are potentially nomadic. So just not sure how that crossover will all work. And she has promised to come visit, and I am confident she will. So we will make that work. She is also a very adventurous spirit.
For me, the selling is the high for sure. We already talked about that, but the low for me, and I didn't anticipate this. We end up with quite a long closing because we wanted to make sure our kids could finish the school year, which ends for us at the end of June. And for me as a teacher as well to end.
And our little foster buddies that we have, it was very important to us to be able to provide a conclusion to their school year as well, as their life is in lots of turmoil and transition. And they will be making a huge transition as well. So we wanted to be able to at least close the school year.
Yeah. So for me, the closing being so long, I found you're in this point of waiting, and like I'm going around the house and I notice all the little things, and I'm fearful that somebody's gonna take a gouge out of a floor or pull a door off of the kitchen or something like that of the cupboards.
This is not exaggeration in this house.
And everything is like, oh, that's one more thing that I'm gonna have to fix before we close as well. So that having that long closing, I think that's for me is I've hit a low of that. Oh, it still feels quite a ways away at this point. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So now that we've sold the house, I'm certified to teach in Prince Edward Island. What's next? What do we have to figure out next?
We're counting on you getting hired.
Right.
It would be delightful and wonderful if Matthew was able to get an actual position that would then just clarify for us location on the island where, I mean, we speak of the island as though it's livable, the whole thing. It is a small island, but it's not that small. We still need to zero in on a town area. So that would be awesome, which is potential because the teachers' turnovers is just starting in most of Canada. Yeah. This is the time of year where that happens.
Yeah, the shuffle and retirements and new hires. So I'm hopeful I'll start to see opportunities come up with that sort. I keep thinking of it as kind of like which came first, the chicken or the egg. So do we decide this is where we want to live because we found the perfect location and area that we think is going to be nice, or maybe that our real estate agent has told us they're a very welcoming group of people in that area, and then find a job there? Or do I find a fantastic job and then we move to be close to that? I don't know.
I don't know for sure. I mean, to me, the job finding would just feels like it would make the process more simple and clear.
Yeah.
We are people of faith, and so we are depending a lot on our God to lay the process out and trust that he will. And so far he has, so we're confident in that. Yeah. And like we've said before, this is not the first time we've made some pretty big life decisions. So we're not veterans at it, but it's not our first time. So I think we've learned over the years, building some of that faith and that trust to know that it will work out. Eventually, we'll figure it out. We're also willing maybe to do some things that not everyone would, potentially live in a trailer if we need to, or I don't know, a couple of weeks in a hotel or a bed and breakfast. And anyway, those are options that are not totally off the table for us.
But we do have people like family, friends who love and know us. We already have people who are saying, "Oh, I have a connection in this place," or we know of so and so. And for most of that, we're saying yes. Keep sending us those ideas and those connections you have, and if we need to, definitely we'll draw on those. So we're very appreciative of friends and family who would like to offer advice to us.
We're not particularly shy. We don't mind meeting new people.
Yeah.
So you getting a job would be great. And then once that happens, it'll be clearing out where we currently are and downsizing a little bit. We are looking to go from a house that has provided for a family of 6 to a family of 4. So that will be a little bit of stuff.
And we have lots of other ideas and dreams, but we're not counting on those until some other things fall into place. So we'll probably talk about this.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So we hope to sort of give updates probably every 2 weeks, I think, is what I'm going for. I haven't told her that yet. every 2 weeks or so, we'll try to do this.
If anything has happened.
And then, I think we sound so confident right now. It makes me worry that we're going to run into some craziness, but maybe,
figure it out.
Maybe not. So anyways, follow along if you'd like, and we'll find out where this adventure goes. Thanks.